Hello, you look very nice today.
Well, thank you, Carol. You dressed up nice as well with
Thank you.
aqua colors and different things like that.
Yep.
Well, Carol, ladies and gentlemen, is very successful in the credit card processing space. And so we're going to talk about the impact she makes through that with, time with family, friends, doing all the things that she wants and needs to do. And then also the other part of the equation, which is a big deal, which is networking. You're very successful in networking.
Critical.
Business. Critical.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say that is really high or low, or like where does that come as far as your marketing plan?
Extremely important. So when I first got into the business, I came to Lubbock after being from Midland, Odessa my entire career in life. And so I didn't know as many people up here as I did there. So in the credit card industry, it's very competitive. So what is your edge? You need to meet people who will trust you and trust that they'll take care of your friends and family and customers and such as that. So that's kind of why I joined a networking team in the first place. And it's just about 20 to 30% of my entire business comes from groups I network with.
Oh, wow. That's a big deal.
It's a big deal. Yeah.
So when you first got started in credit card processing, what was the hardest part of getting started with that type of business?
Well, for me, it wasn't too hard because I had been a sales director for AT&T. So I was used to sales. I was used to customer service. I was used to being in front of people, and I've never had a problem meeting people. So that part wasn't the problem. The problem is who's going to let me in other than just cold calling every day? Who's going to let me into their business and trust me enough to come in and tell them what I have to say and believe what I have to say and get some business from it. So that was the critical part, just getting in front of people.
So you mentioned something, trust. That's a big deal.
Big deal.
Yeah, and then getting in front of people. So in West Texas, is there a lot of competition in what you do?
There is a lot of competition, and the first thing I learned is that with AT&T, we were Public Utility Commission regulated. Everybody had to do it the same thing, same way, but it's not like that in credit card processing.
Interesting.
It's a little more open-ended. So the processing company that you rep for has certain buy rate, if you will. And other than that, what the salespeople mark it up and how they do things is on their own terms. And so you just really, in my opinion, it's so much easier to get a customer and keep them than it is to sell 5 more customers as that one walks out the door. So I have been very intent on taking good care of customers like I did at AT&T and giving them the right pricing at the first and helping them any way I can. And it goes more than sales. It's got to be real consultative. But yeah, there are so many credit card processing companies. And a lot of people think that banks are credit card processing and they go with their banks.
Yeah.
I did that because I used to be a business owner. But actually the banks aren't the credit card processing. They have a partner that they get a little bit of a kickback from. And so, it's just so many of them out there, so many options.
Wow, it does sound very, very, very competitive.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. So do you do any like advertising or any other marketing other than networking?
Most of it's the networking. Okay. So advertising, we're 1099 to the company. Pay Compass is the one I'm repping for right now.
Okay.
And I've been with them for a long time. I've been with them since they opened in 2020. And so I don't really do a lot of marketing. I don't have to do a lot of that kind of thing. But if I work the networking correctly, that gives me more coverage. That gives me better word of mouth. That gives me everything I need to do what I want to do.
That's interesting. So about how many people do you see on a weekly basis that are in networking that you network with?
A lot. I mean, I'll see maybe 40 people a week, easy, that I network with. And of course, they all have friends and family. And then all of a sudden, it's such a growth thing to network because now all of a sudden, a customer I had 10 years ago, or maybe that somebody worked with me 5 years ago, if anybody recommends me, then that is just feet on the street, word of mouth is the best ever. And so, like I said, I'll have customers that I had 5 years ago open another business and call me. And so if you take care of them and do the right thing.
That's a good surprise to come.
It's beautiful, beautiful. And, one thing that you're going to find in networking is that you don't know who you don't know.
That's true.
So if I have someone in my networking group who maybe is a franchise of a large company, and then all the quarters, all of the decisions are made in New York. And then all of a sudden they connect me and say, I think I heard our owner say we might be changing.
Yes.
So you call somebody in New York and you get in with them because somebody's referred you from a networking group here in West Texas. And the next thing you know, you have 52 companies around the country that you're installing for and working with because of that one referral from Lubbock, Texas.
Wow.
And it happens more than you can.
52.
Yes, 52. Lot. Yes.
And that's outstanding.
It is outstanding.
Out of New York from networking.
That's right.
So let me ask you this. So when you network, there's a lot of networking groups out there. There's some that are free and that don't cost you anything but your time and your energy.
Right.
And then there's some that are paid. In your experience, which is the most effective and why?
Well, I've been in both.
Okay.
And I think the one that I pay for is most critical to me because for several reasons. First off, it makes me dedicated to doing what I'm supposed to do.
That makes sense.
So I know I'm going to pay money. I want my results. And, in my first year of networking with a fee-based networking group, I probably paid for my fees and dues and everything within the first 2 months.
Oh, wow.
Right. So it does make a difference because when you walk into a paid group, these are a lot of business owners and heads of companies that are doing this for not the social aspect of it, not the fun. It is structured. It is marked. We keep tabs on who sells what, who refers what. There's an attendance requirement. Oh, wow. And if you don't meet that, then you're paying your money for nothing. So you really have to decide that this is the right thing.
Motivational element.
It's very motivational.
Focus and do something.
Yes.
And produce.
But I know that every person sitting in that group is paying as well, or their company's paying as well.
True.
And they're going to all expect results. So you're going to meet those deadlines. You're going to have those one-on-ones, which are networking conversations outside of that one networking weekly meeting. And you're going to do all the things that you're supposed to do. But then you're going to be able to track your progress with the number of sales that you give, the number of referrals that you get, how many visitors you bring, because we're wanting to build the group with not just anybody that wants to walk in the door, but somebody that's really going to benefit the group and help grow their business. It's all about giver's gain in some cases.
Man, that's good.
Whatever networking your group in, the more you give, the more you'll get out of it.
Man, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We're sitting in Lubbock Chamber of Commerce right now.
Yeah.
That's how it is here. You put a lot of energy into joining and being a part and showing up and participating. It actually turns into a very positive thing for your business.
Exactly.
And you build relationships. So with respect to your paid networking group, is there any technology that you use that helps to track anything or?
Yeah, so with certain groups, some of it I just do on my own because I want to make sure that I'm giving as much as I'm getting. If somebody gives a referral to me, it's going to key in my brain to be sure to get something for them. And so, it's not just the people I know. It's going to be people that I might not think of otherwise. But if they're giving me business, I'll look for something to give to them. And I think that's kind of important. As far as technology in a paid group, there are groups that track that. And you put it in an app, and those results are announced monthly. We have, silly prizes where you might get a crown or you might get a, something. If you're the top giver, if you're the top, education is important. We even track how many credits of units that we might learn about the business, anybody's business, or about the networking group, or how to sell. It's got a lot of education to it in a paid group.
Oh, that's cool.
But then again, on the non-paid, so in some groups you can be in a paid group and a non-paid group. And so if I'm in the non-paid group, the way I would compare that is there are a lot more people in smaller businesses that maybe can't afford to pay a bigger fee, but they still want to network. They still want to grow their business. So they may start in a regular networking group. And So there's definitely differences, but I think anytime you're networking, you're being productive.
Oh, that's a good point. So would you say, what would be so you just mentioned 52 locations.
Right.
Is that your single biggest sale so far through networking?
Yes, that's my single biggest one, but I have other remote ones. One of my friends in one of my groups gave me one, and I have a dog sitter in North Carolina that does $60,000 a month in sales. Yes. And so you just never know.
A dog sitter in North Carolina
absolutely.
does $60,000 a month
in sales. Yes.
How is that even possible?
That's a lot of dogs. That's all I would assume.
That's a lot of dogs.
It is a lot of dogs.
My goodness sakes.
But there's just all kinds of stuff that you don't know about. And it's the best. It's just the best.
Wow. Well, that's fascinating. So for those people that are like, I don't want to spend any money on it. Does it work?
Yeah.
You know, how many years have you been in it to prove that it actually works?
Well, I've been in it since 2020.
Okay.
So here I am. I'm coming in January of 2020. And the first thing we do is go into COVID mode and everything goes online. And so I'm going to these meetings and I'm not sure. The next thing you know, even with that, like I said, in 2 months, I had recouped my dues.
So during one of the worst economic contractions in our recent history, you had 2 good sales that more than recouped your fee.
Right. And that wasn't such a bad time because these businesses were closed down. They were looking for a way to still operate. And in my business, we could do that. Place your order online and then call and pick it up, pay with a credit card online to pay for it, and then come to space number 2 and pick up your order.
Right.
It's a time where people slowed down. They were made to slow down and reevaluate their business and, what they were doing, where they were spending. And then certainly when they came back, they had to find ways to make money and save money. Trucking was more expensive. Employees were more expensive.
Right.
Food was more expensive, whatever.
Well, so we've got a situation right now where you've got $5 diesel.
Exactly.
I mean, so everything's more expensive now. It's the worst gas prices I've ever seen in my life.
It is. And, the thing about credit card processing and what we do is that we're not just one size fits all. We can actually conform to how you work. So if I have trades guys that are out there doing the yards, laying concrete, if they want their money right then, they have a little swiper on the end of their phone. If I have people that want to send an invoice, so there's so many options. So if you do a consultative selling approach, it's going to help. So when I'm in my networking groups, I tell them, here's how you can get your payment. Everybody works hard for their money, and so you'd like to get paid for it sooner than later. And here's how you can do it. So as I educate everybody in my networking groups, then that means I have that many people thinking of that when they're out there buying theirs or having their own businesses. They're thinking about the things that I've said. So it is important that I use my time wisely and educate them on what they need to know to help me grow my business.
Very good. So in your networking group, how many people do you have in that group?
Well, in my paid group, we have about 32, and that's a pretty steady group.
That sounds like a lot of people.
It is a lot of people, but it's not just any people. Like I say, we have a huge visitors day, and we bring everybody. We might bring 4 landscapers or 4 whatever, and then we get to pick from those that want to join which one would fit our group the best. So we're selective in some sense because we really want it to be successful for everybody in there.
Wow.
And so we have that once a year. There's about 150, maybe 10 will join, and then a couple will maybe close their business or move. And so we just have a nice steady flow of very involved, very purposeful members.
Okay, involved and purposeful. Now, in your non-paid group, how many do you have?
Well, I probably have more. There may be 30 or 40, and that's wonderful. You love it.
Yeah.
But do they all show up? Probably not, because there's not absentee restrictions. If I go to a non-paid group and half of the people are missing, then that's a big opportunity missed for them and for me, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Because I know when I go to the networking group, either I'm going to have my people there in a paid group, or they're going to have a substitute that can speak for me. So you have a substitute. But on the non-paid, it's okay because they're hitting people that still need my services, but just don't feel they're at the point yet where they can invest a significant amount.
Okay.
Right? So you grow to that maybe.
Years ago, I met a gentleman by the name of Zig Ziglar here in town in 2003.
Wow. Yeah.
And after meeting him, I started studying his material.
Yeah.
One of the things that jumped out most to me with relation to business was that he said that the number one objective of a business is to earn a profit.
Right.
So that you can take care of your number one priority, which is helping more people.
Right.
So the math on that adds up for me is if you can't do number one, you can't afford to do number two.
Right. Exactly.
When there's numbers involved and someone makes an investment of money, from your experience versus just time, with the money, it's time and money and risk, because that it can be, just depending upon the group, it can be expensive.
Right.
So with your experience in both, which one do you say is more motivated to earn a profit?
For me, it's going to be the paid one.
Okay.
And it's not just about the money I'm investing, because it's really about, am I working hard enough to earn what I could be earning? When they track it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, only this month I've only given 4 referrals when I should be giving 6. And I'm going to work harder next month. So it is about that. A lot of it for me is the tracking. I want to know that I'm doing well, and I want to be able to say I'm a successful salesperson, and here's why.
Yeah.
So I can actually put numbers behind it, what it's done for my business.
Numbers make a whole lot of sense to a lot of people.
Yes.
And when you're in business.
Yes.
Because that's what business is.
Exactly.
Do you have more wins than losses?
Exactly.
Because if you don't have a profit.
Yeah.
You don't have a business.
In a networking group, you have to differentiate. You have to educate your new members. This person only wants a warm lead.
Yeah.
That means I've already talked to them for you. They're expecting you to come on out. With me, I'll just take referral. I mean, I'll take leads, not referrals. So anybody that you hear about, oh, I was in there and they were putting a calculator to, and their machine wouldn't add it up for them. So it depends on who the salesperson is, whether they want a hot referral where you've already said they're coming out, or a lead, which is, hey, I read on Facebook this person's looking for a new air conditioner.
Wow.
So I'll hit all those. And, that's another thing. When I'm home at night, I'm scrolling through Facebook or my neighborhood app, and I see all these different things. You've always got people looking for insurance or electricity or who can do a good solid, mow the lawn or lay concrete. I'm like, I know a guy. And I haven't been here but about 9 years, but I still know a guy. So just about for everything somebody needs, I know a guy. Insurance, anything.
Because of the networking.
Because of networking.
So
100%.
You can literally sit. I've experienced that too. I've been sitting with family we just had some funerals recently, and you'd hear people rattle off.
Yeah.
We have this problem. And I go,
yeah, it does.
I had all these I was like, okay, some of them happened to live somewhere else, so it wouldn't have worked. But I still thought of those people because they were every week telling me what they do and why they do it.
That repetition, the habit, the investment, it just triggers when you hear something. I went into a networking group a couple of weeks ago, and it was a non-paid one, and this nonprofit was asking for all this stuff that kids needed for school. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I have so much of that. And that's the first thing I did, gathered all that stuff and got it to her. And so that's not really, it didn't increase my business, but it made us, our relationship a little bit, getting to know each other a little better. So anything you can do to help out anybody in your networking groups. And then you really get to become friends and confidants. And, everybody has.
So why does that happen? Why does the confidant part? Because that speaks to a level of trust. So why do you think that trust
That's
happens?
100%. Now, the networking group you're in, you all have the same goal. So that's going to get you in the door. But as you make those relationships, just like any other relationship, the stronger it gets, the more people see that they can trust you, the more that you help them in whatever way it is. I've had people that had COVID and I took soup and put it on their front door. It just is a human nature that helping somebody, they want to help you. And that's not why I do it. And that's not why most of, any of us do it. That's just, it really, truly starts a relationship.
I heard a quote years ago by a minister saying, all opportunity comes from relationships.
Absolutely.
I never forgot that. I thought,
that's
focus
true.
on the relationship. So in a paid group, how versus a non-paid group, what's harder to build a relationship in if there is a delineation between the two?
Really, I don't see a difference. If I'm in a paid group, that just probably means I've been in it longer than maybe some of my other groups. And I trust these people more because I know they're going to be there. That absence thing is a real thing.
Yeah. What do you think the impact of not showing up to a networking group would be to your business?
It's huge because they can't hear my ass this week. So I need to know, does anybody know cleaners, dry cleaners? Well, if they're not there to hear that, they can't help me.
That's true.
So if they only are there half the time. And something else that you really don't want to see happening is we're paying for this. And so we need to give each other 100% of the time in that meeting. Don't be late. And I see that in non-paid groups. They come in late. And don't walk out because you have an important phone call. We all are business owners. We all have important phone calls. And that's just one of the things. You've got to dedicate that hour and a half a week.
Or get someone to cover it.
Or get somebody to cover it.
That can read your, ask correctly.
Make sure somebody's there. But, don't tell me that maybe your call's more important and get up and leave. And you're gone 10 minutes and you've missed maybe 4 or 5 people's ask for the week.
Do you cold
call? So it's a commitment. I do not love to cold call.
But do you
have I done it? Yes, I have. I do it, and I've done it.
When was the last time you did a cold call?
Probably 2 weeks ago. But I have grown this business, so I don't. That's why I am in networking. So I don't have to cold call, or at least as much.
Seriously. So do you get regular leads every week?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty much.
About how many?
Probably at least 2 a week.
2 a week's pretty good.
It's really good.
So I heard someone say 1 referral's worth 15 cold calls.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not, but it sounds like.
Well, you never know. If I'm a realtor, then I may only get 1 sale every 6 months from the group, or 3 months, or whatever the number is. But it's so big, right? And then maybe with my donut shops, I know a donut shop that needs it. Well, that they're pretty good customers too, but I can refer a donut shop to you faster than I can a house. I don't know everybody that's selling a house, but I can sure tell you where to get flowers or go get a donut or who might clean the windows. So some sales come faster, so you have to be a little bit patient.
Yeah.
So you think once you do your investment that you should start getting stuff immediately. And sometimes you do. Yeah. And sometimes you don't.
I had one paid networking group that I did. I almost quit the first year because I went the whole year, showed up religiously.
Yeah.
Kept changing my pitch because nobody was like, trying to figure it out. And then I was about to quit at the end of the year because they hadn't produced anything.
Right.
And then someone said, boom, we need to do this. It's the end of the year.
Yeah.
We know that what you have is what we need. That tipped the scale for me, which led to me then joining the chamber, which led to me then joining other networking groups.
Yeah.
Some paid and some non-paid.
Right.
And I would say it all works. There's a quote by somebody who I've met also by the name of Grant Cardone, and one of my favorite sales trainers out there. He says, all marketing works if you're committed to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one of the things I know about networking, it is a dedicated marketing hour or hour and a half or 2 or whatever the group is. It is a marketing activity.
Right.
Because you're polishing up your pitch every single week. What's resonating? Can you get the right elements out in 60 seconds or less?
Yeah.
Because most every networking group has 60 seconds and that's it.
Yeah.
And then they move on.
Yeah. So if you've done your training in the paid networking groups, what's cool about that, then you get to get up and speak for 15 minutes. So that's, it's your turn to speak this week. So I might get my 40 or 60 seconds. But after that, I can do a deep dive into really what I do and why you might really, really want to use my company and stuff for them to remember when they're out in the field listening to their friends and family.
Wow.
So that speaker for the week makes a big difference.
Are you part of the Chamber of Commerce?
I have been. I'm not right now.
Well, come on,
I
girl.
know, right?
It's another big networking
I
group.
was so involved with the chamber in Odessa when I worked for AT&T.
Oh, yes.
And lived there and on the Odessa Industrial Development Board and all that. So I've been on all kinds of boards. And right now, you know, at my age, I'm like, I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to participate. And it is the best thing I've ever done.
Good for you.
It's really, really great.
The paid networking group.
The paid networking group, the job I'm doing, the card processing, it's real flexible. Just the whole thing fits. And because I'm so flexible, that gives me that hour and a half every week and those extra one-on-one times to be out there doing the networking.
So tell me about that, because almost every single networking group has this element to it where they encourage, go out there, meet one-on-one with some of the people and get to know them and what they do. Don't try to like sell them.
Exactly.
But you know, try to just get to know what they do so that you can refer them and they can refer you.
Exactly.
How important is that?
It's huge. And the reason is, let's say you're an insurance salesman and in our paid networking group, you have a seat. I can only have commercial real estate. I can only have residential. I do home, whatever the case is. So maybe you're a guy that I'm friends with now in the networking group and we have a one-on-one and you say, well, in the networking group, I do this, but in real life, I do this, 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 and this. And so that way you really get to know what you do. In my world, my credit card processing is my paid seat in my networking group. But I also do payroll and equipment and things that, you know, we also do lending, but I would never do lending because we have so many lending people in there. And even when we get a lending, I might toss it over to that lending person instead of me taking it because that's their seat. So that's exactly, but
so
it really
speaks to in a something that's tracked with accountability. To some sort of productivity as well for the actual person that paid for that seat.
And to your point earlier, when you said, I don't think I'm getting as much as I'm giving. Well, can you really know that if you're not doing it yourself? Well, in the networking group, you can, because every time you get a referral or give a referral, you put it in the app and it's tracked. So your vice president or secretary, whoever, they can say on their weekly vice president's report, you know, you have given this much and you've gotten this much
because of it. And that's another marketing for you.
Yes.
Boom, boom, boom. So,
I want to work with her because she really gives a lot of referrals. Yes.
Wow, that's
exactly.
Yeah, there's a concept, a biblical concept that give and it shall be given again.
That's exactly right.
You know?
Exactly.
That's really strong. Do you see that play out in a paid networking group and a non-paid?
Not as much in the non-paid. I think they will, you know, once you've been in it long enough and get a relationship, I do think they will. And I think they strive to be really, really good and get the most bang for their, you know, opportunity of time they're spending. But I think when you're really tracking it and mentally and consciously trying to give people referrals, you know, it comes a little bit more.
And that when you pay attention, I've learned.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
There's something to that.
Yes.
That's the reason why, you know, college costs so much.
That's right.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know all but it does cost. Say, for instance, you want to go, like we mentioned, a Zig Ziglar deal when he was around. His son does stuff now, but, you know, it costs several $100s and sometimes $1,000 or more. And you're like, why do you pay that? Because you pay attention and you get the result that you went there for. Been to, you know, places like, you know, Tony Robbins events, or Grant Cardone event. That stuff is not cheap. It's part of your business that you're going there. So, you know, if you manage your money correctly and there are some provisions that you can write off, and I'm not a tax attorney.
I was going to say the same thing.
So what about that when it comes to a networking group? Is it something that's tax deductible?
It's a membership for your work. It's my accountant says it's an expense that's not reimbursed. And so it's absolutely a tax deduction.
So a real accountant said that.
Yes.
And we're not that, by the way.
We're not.
We can't
we're not saying anything. I'm just telling you what I do because of what my accountant said.
Okay.
And so absolutely.
And that's great.
It is great.
So what's the hardest part of being successful in a networking group?
You know, I think a lot of people start out by saying the hardest part is having to get up and speak. A lot of people don't like to speak in public, and they get terrified when they do their first 15-minute presentation, right? But I tell them every time, because I've been on the membership committee and the president of the group and all the different things. But the thing is, you will never sit in a more friendly group of people because everybody wants to know what you're saying. Everybody wants to support you. Everybody wants to watch you grow. Yes, yes. And by the time you watch them 6 months later, they're just up there spitting it out like they've been doing it forever. And that is one thing a lot of people say they feel like they've gotten out of the group, more comfortable speaking in front of a customer or a group or public speaking type thing.
What's the next hardest thing about networking?
Well, the next hardest thing about networking is time. The time commitment, because it really is, it is a priority. It's got to be a priority.
So about how many hours of your day does it take off of actually writing an order or something like that? So it takes you actually, I know for me, I'm thinking, I should be selling something right now instead of talking to a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how my brain thinks sometimes.
Well,
so I think a lot of people think that, too, that are in groups, because a lot of them are sales oriented. So how much time is the investment?
To me, it's not much, but it all depends on the individual. So for me, the hour and a half, just say 2 hours on one day a week, you go to your networking group. And then you might have 2 or 3 other one-on-ones off of the weekly meeting. And so maybe 3 or 4 hours a week. But to me, that's a great investment of time, because that's 12 doors I don't have to pull.
Has been, I know for you it has been.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
12 doors you don't have to open and go talk to
Exactly. And somebody's like, no, we don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Because these people, when I go in a door, they usually know I'm coming, or I can at least say so-and-so referred me. Oh, well, he goes to my church, or he's a friend, or so it's easier for me to get in and talk. And if we don't fit, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if we do, that's one thing that's been given to me by the networking group.
That's awesome. So if you had anything to say to someone that's on the fence about a paid networking group, what would it be?
I would say try it for a year. Put into it what you're supposed to put into it. Give it a real try, and then look at the numbers that you're given at the end of the year and see if it's worth renewing.
And then also weekly, right? You can track it weekly.
You can track anything weekly.
And see if it made sense financially at the end of the year.
Yes.
But give it a year commitment. I've heard that about a lot of things, not just networking.
And one thing, with networking that we haven't really discussed is it's not just me and my group. So I have customers up in Plainview. So if I'm going to know that I've got to go to Plainview, I'm going to visit somebody else's group. And I'm going to let them meet me. I'm going to meet them. You can go to different groups all the time. We had a couple from Houston. They were in town looking for a new house, and they were missing their group in Houston, so they came to our group because it's wonderful.
So that's the paid group with the app and all of that. You can look at wherever you're at on planet Earth. Where is a BNI group in Houston, Texas? Not any networking group, anything. So where is a non-paid group? I don't know where they are, but I can tell you if it's a paid group, I can usually find one pretty easy. Well, that's pretty awesome. So, well, Carol, you've been very generous with your time. Is there anything else you would like to say to anybody else that is curious whether or not they need to join? No, I just think that for me, it's been a great investment, and it's not just about the investment of sales. Within our group, just like you, being an AI person, I'm learning so much. I stay relevant, and it's so nice because I know what ChatGPT is, and I learned that from my networking group people, and now I can do my bio when I stand up to talk to people. I can have GPT do that for me or something like that. A little bit more productive. It is a little bit, just keeps me relevant. And I get that too. I learned some stuff too. It's an educational benefit because I'm learning from so many different industries in a short period of time, which is, you can't get time back. Exactly. And you can learn compressed time with it. Yeah. Well, this has been a very productive talk. I've enjoyed it too. And, best of success to you. Yeah. And we'll see you around the networking groups. I hope so. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good job. Thanks. Sorry about my phone. I meant to. Oh, that's okay. No worries. You can cut it.